One of the things that we sort of knew early on, are you as certain of this as I am, that we were going to get married. Okay, I mean that was not a question. And even though we had not met one another, we knew.
And I remember even like after a couple months, Bill said something that I agreed with. That it was like, we're so committed to each other that at this point, if we broke up, we'd have to get a divorce.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, we're just like so
Right.
already married practically, even though we hadn't actually gotten married, hadn't even met each other.
So anyway, we started to formulate some sort of tentative, very tentative plans for getting married. And we talked about.
Well, first of all, since you're Quaker,
Oh yeah, yeah. That we didn't necessarily need a preacher, a minister, a pastor, because the Quaker belief is that people marry each other. Okay, that we would commit to one another by vows that we said to one another, and maybe we would need a justice of the peace or somebody to sign something so that
to make it legal and everything,
to make it legal.
so we could visit each other in the hospital.
But in the meantime, we were going to marry each other,
Mm-hmm.
and so.
Well, so we had a really great plan for New Mexico, and I want to tell about this because I hope somebody else will use it, because I think this was just going to be so great, and we ended up not doing it. But you liked Santa Fe a lot.
Yeah, I'd been to Santa Fe.
We were looking for some place where both of our families could come visit, so it was like someplace neutral. And I don't think I might have been to Santa Fe as a kid, and I've driven through Albuquerque a few times, but I don't think I've ever really visited there. So it
Yeah.
sounded like a really cool place.
Yeah. Santa Fe is one of these places, sort of like Sedona, and other places, okay, where the Celts believed that there were energy lines in the earth, and where those lines crossed were particularly
Strong
Yeah,
Yeah.
They were, for lack of a better term, small H, but holy places. Okay.
So Santa Fe just seemed very appropriate.
Santa
and,
Fe seemed appropriate.
And we looked on Airbnb
Right.
and found 3 homes owned by one person. They were kind of like in a compound. And so we were planning to rent those for a week and have our families come for as much of that week as they could, just to like get to know each other, and like my family could get to know him, and whoever came from his family would get to know me, and we had some activities planned and stuff, and then we would have a really nice dinner that we would all prepare together for like second to the last night or something, where we would then say our vows to each other. And so that we were kind of moving forward with that and everything. And then when I was in California, we decided that was just too long. Well, we were looking at June. Okay, this was September. We met in June. We were looking at getting married
The following June.
The following June. And because John was still with me, we were going to get married but not live together because Bill needed to be here in Still Pond and I needed to be in Minnesota with John. And so so we were looking at getting married and then spending probably a couple years apart, like getting together every month or so, which was going to be crazy, but that's what we were wanting to do. That's what we figured we would do. So then
when Alice Kay was in California, at her parents' house in Paso, they did some touring around, and one of the places that they went to was Harmony.
And Harmony was always really special to me. It's a small little coastal town that has a population of 18. Usually has a cat for the mayor, and there's like a glass blower there and a potter, and there used to be a lot of other artists and stuff. It's kind of become almost a ghost town now, but I think it's going to build up again. But from the time that I was a kid, I had wanted to get married in the chapel there. It was really cool.
And there was a restaurant there.
I don't know what the name of it was, but Giovanni.
Yeah, Giovanni.
We
was-
really liked him.
Yeah, and so we were gonna host a dinner and get married in
Marry each
Harmony-
other there
Harmony.
in Harmony.
and Harmony is just up the road, north of Morro Bay, and so there were plenty of places for people to camp out and whatever, motels and so forth. In Morro Bay, and so that was another option. But here again, it was going to be
2 years of living apart.
a long time before we got together. I
Mhm.
mean, permanently together.
Yeah.
And
And then some things happened that made it pretty evident that John needed to have a man in his life. And so we decided at that point to go ahead and get married in December and allow him to choose. I don't want to really get into this, but basically just allow him to choose where he was going to live and everything. And he's chosen to live in Minnesota. He's living with Sam and Chip. So that was how we decided to go ahead and get married in December
Mhm.
of that year. And we'll tell about that in the next video.